Oh, these long, dreary months. So here's a secret. Even though I've lived in the Midwest my entire life, I do not care for winter. On a positive note, I do feel like the colder months help me to be more productive in my art. I'm Cherie Burbach, a writer and artist, and this is my winter 2024-25 vlog. I have a bit of a cold, in case you can't tell. To start off, I had a busy weekend in December where I had a kids' book signing, 2 art openings, and an opportunity to preach at my church, all in the same weekend. It was incredible. Life works that way sometimes. One of my art exhibits was on a Friday night at the Plymouth Art Center for their holiday exhibit. My painting, Seeker, was featured. This painting was a favorite of mine to do, and I really felt a sense of joy in creating it. It sold shortly after the exhibit, and my buyer sent me a photo of the painting hanging in their home. I really love when buyers share my paintings and how they look in their space. It's such an honor. The next day, I went back to the Plymouth Art Center and signed my kids' book, Mouse Turds on Granny's Pillow. It was a really fun day talking about how the story was created. I also sold copies of my family card game, Cupcake Commotion. As soon as that event was finished, I headed to the Museum of Wisconsin Art for their membership exhibit. My painting, Waterfall in Paradise, was among the works. The next day, I also got a chance to preach at my church for the first time. What a privilege it was to talk about the Annunciation of Jesus. I've been studying for months on how to preach and pastor people. It is amazing how God works in our lives, isn't it? The next month, I preached again, this time on the book of James. Since winter began, I've also been working on a lot of new art for an exhibit that opened last week at the Langdon Divers Gallery in Fond du Lac, Wisconsin. I created 6 large butterflies that hung from the ceiling. My intention for this exhibit was to create a world outside of this one, where you would feel joy and hope. I wanted to have an immersive element, so the butterflies helped you feel as if you'd entered a different dimension. I also added girls with flowers in their hair that hung from the ceiling. Each one contained a positive message. I also created many new triptychs, like this one called Bright Morning. I debuted 3 of these unique art pieces in my show. And of course, I couldn't have an exhibit without a globe or two. This large-scale globe sat beneath a new work called The Tenderness of Caring. My other globe sat in a glass display case along with a couple copies of my book, Poetry in Paint. I painted several larger pieces especially for this show, as I wanted to create an overall message as you traveled through the gallery. There were animals to greet you, angels to keep you, and a special guardian to make you feel protected. I was grateful to my friends who came out on one of the coldest evenings ever to attend this show. A special thank you to Mel Kolstad, who curated the exhibit. By the way, it's up until March 5th. Get on out and see it. I hope you are staying warm and finding sources of joy.